What's happening, everybody? Oh, thank you so much for being patient. And I still don't know if the technical difficulties fixed, but we're going to find out. And we couldn't find out until we went live. So here we are, only 14 short minutes late. It is Thursday night. It is time for another episode of Thrifty Business. I'm your host, Vegas J.
And I'm your other host, Margaret.
Texas Gal Treasures, duh.
Texas Gal Treasures. I wanted to rhyme, dang it.
We have a great guest tonight, and man, look at that hair. What is happening, Craig Dawson? How are you, Craig?
Not too bad. Bad dog here, and looking for some fun tonight.
All right, so here's the technical difficulty I was having, and I think I'm still having, so bear with me. You know, kind of the lifeblood of this show is screenshots and pictures. We can teach you guys scores and odds and tips and stuff. Right, and I try to redo it all, and so we're gonna try. So right now you should be seeing Tiki Talk, and I don't think you are. Yeah, see, that's where we're gonna have some problems, because it's not gonna be much of a show if you can't see things. So
There it is.
Let's see here. Yeah, I know I'm about 30 seconds behind in the actual feed. All right, cool. It's kind of working. So we're gonna get right to it then, shall we? Ooh, wrong one. Time for Jay's Tiki Talk, where each week I drink a different rum out of a different mug, and we talk about it. So tonight, and I'll tell you why we're drinking this rum in a second, because usually I match it to my guest or my host. But tonight I'm drinking Kraken spiced rum. Yummy rum, great bottle. And I am drinking it out of my brand new, for sale, Art Den of Sin glass. Now, the Den of Sin is my home bar. I'm going to show you this version so you can see it a little bit better. So Doug Horn is a good friend of mine, world famous tiki artist, so he did this logo for me. So if you're interested in the glassware, hit me up on Facebook. It's one for $14, two for $25. Shipping for one is $7. Shipping for two is $10. And let's see what our guests are drinking. Craig, I know what you're drinking, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Well, I think that one man's Sarah can be another man's mug.
All right, that's not too bad.
No, I put down the Malibu rum plastic one, which I was just ripping Jason with, and I've gone to a not that great, not that much better, but at least it's not Malibu rum.
And Margaret, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking Ménage à Trois silk, I don't know, red wine in my fancy schmancy Twilight mug. Or it's not a mug. It's a cup.
Mug.
It is a fancy Twilight mug.
All right. We're going to say goodbye to Craig while we do the show, and we'll see him in about half an hour. Or not. Oh, there we go.
He's got to come back. We got to see some more of that hair.
Yep, there we go. All right, cool. Now, the reason I picked Kraken today, because if you don't know the two national holidays that were yesterday and today, shame on you, but yesterday was National Rum Day. Today is National Thrift Store Day, and I found this Kraken bottle turned into a light at Savers for $4.99. There it is right there. So we decided to drink Kraken tonight because of what a cool thrift store score. Happy Thrift Store Day, happy Rum Day.
Happy
All right,
Rum Day.
let's get right into it since we're a little bit behind. For our scores of the week, well, Margaret and I will teach you about cool things to buy and to flip and what they sold for.
Oh, cool.
And if you can't see, I will tell you what's up, and then it'll hopefully show up at some point. It is the mummy necklace.
Okay, yeah. So I got this at a thrift store. This was the mummy necklace. I put a crazy high price on it because I couldn't find it anywhere. So this was something that was like a souvenir, I guess, from Universal Studios. And I picked it up for a few dollars, and it sold on Etsy for $47.99. Is that what I sent you? $47.99.
Cool.
Yeah.
A stocking for $75.
Yeah. Are we? Is it my turn still?
Yes. Yeah, we go through all years, and
Okay.
I'm actually dropping out for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay, absolutely. So, oh yeah, this is a stocking that I got. If you watched one of my latest sales videos, stockings, embroidery kits, these kind of things, get them up because people buy them right around this time because they have to make them in order to have them ready for Christmas time. So this is a stocking kit that I picked up at Goodwill for about $2, and it sold for $74.99. This was definitely not a beginner stocking kit. It was very, very intricate.
All right. How I sound now there, audience? And I don't see.
Oh,
yeah.
next one? Okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping it shows up at some point. It's the Barbie car. There it is.
Okay, Barbie car. There it is. So this is a Barbie car clock radio that I picked up at a garage sale for $3. It had the manual and everything with it. Worked. And this is one that I definitely put a video in. And so it sold for, holy smokes, I forgot how much it sold for. I sent it all to you.
$47.99.
$47.99. Yeah. So I paid $3 for it at the garage sale, and it sold for $47.99.
Woo! And then this cute little doggy.
Oh my gosh. This dog I got at an auction in a lot of other stuffed animals. These like hard stuffed, kind of like Stife, but it wasn't, none of them were marked Stife, but it was that hard, like sawdust stuffed type of stuffed animal. So when I averaged out all of the ones that I got, it cost about $3, and I took an offer on Etsy for $150 for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, now it's my turn. So this is a t-shirt from the Conga Lounge, which was just an okay tiki bar in Oakland, but it no longer exists, and the artist is a little bit famous. And I haven't done much on t-shirts lately. I've been very picky, but I found this for $2.99 at Savers, and it sold in under a month for $50. So there are still $50 used t-shirts out there that you just gotta hope for them.
Very cool. Very cool.
Our guest is wearing a shirt that kind of goes along the same lines as this shirt. This is a Shag limited edition 50th anniversary of Frontierland from Disneyland. I paid $33 for it, and I sold it for $209, and it went out today.
Wow, that is awesome. Is that a steer with a paddleboat on it? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's Frontierland at Disneyland. It was all the scenes of Frontierland. This was a powered crank radio that I got free at a casino like 10 years ago. It sat on a shelf behind the door of my toilet collecting dust, and I threw it in a tub that I didn't mean to throw it in, and the tub that I threw it in was, hey, to list this stuff. And she listed it, and I go, oh, I don't think that's worth anything. And it sold in 3 days for $72.
Oh my gosh. It's end of days, people. I'm telling you what. They want that solar. They want to crank their own radio, but they don't realize if the apocalypse happens, there won't be any radio. So. Yeah,
exactly. So, and then these were 2 CDs I shipped the last 2 days just to show you that CDs are still alive and well in 2017. You might never find this Dionne Warwick CD, but just to give you an example, this sold for $30. And this Sound Gallery Volume 2, which I have sold maybe 10, 12 times. I always find it. I sold this for $50. So $80. Oh, and I paid $8 for this one that sold for $50, and I paid $2 for the one that sold for $30.
Very cool. I never saw.
All right, you've seen our what? Oh, it didn't come up.
Stuck on Dionne. Oh. That's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. All right.
It's cool. It's cool.
I don't want to see it, so I'm going to bring it back up here for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I everyone who's watching the show live and who's going to watch after the fact, I am so sorry. I have no clue why there's this lag in sharing tonight. And so we're just going to do our best to work through it. There we go. Now it's up. So that's the Sound Gallery, Volume 2. Volume 1 does okay, but Volume 2 always sells for $50. And I paid $8. You can find it in record stores in major cities like LA, San Francisco, Boston, stuff like that. All right. You've seen our scores. Now it's time for our duds of the week. Don't let our mistakes be yours. Duds of the week brought to you by WorthPoint. WorthPoint is the largest resource for identifying, researching, and valuing antiques, art, and vintage collectibles. And if Margaret and I would have used WorthPoint, we wouldn't have had these duds.
Probably not.
All right, your first dud is this coffee.
Okay, so this dud is a sort of dud. So basically, I had 3 of these come for coffee like invitations, and there's 10 in each pack. So when I originally listed this, I listed all 3 at one time without thinking that who's going to have like 30 people over for coffee, right? So eventually, I mean, it had been up forever. And so eventually a lady messaged me and was like, hey, can I just buy one of those? Because I only have like 7 people coming. So yeah, so after her talking to this lady and realizing, oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. So check your listings and see if you've got something that's multiple quantities that you're selling all at one time. Is it really something that, like these invite for coffee, you can have 30 people over for coffee at one time? So it could have been a really bad dud, but.
A little side note, Padiddle says, I'm not the only one having lag time issues. Watch 3 others struggle today on YouTube. So apparently ain't me, it's YouTube. So sorry still.
It's not you. If we go late, it's no biggie for me. If we go long.
Oh, I know, but look, I hate, I try and produce a quality show. I hate, starting 14 minutes late. To me, that's just like death in my heart. Ugh.
Don't let it be death in your heart. It's cool.
Thank you, my dear, for a delivery of a cocktail. Your
oh dear, you're choppy. Am I choppy too?
Uh-oh. Nope.
I'm not choppy. Okay. When we were choppy earlier, I started singing. And tell them about my bracelet. Okay. Can we see the bracelet? Good. You just don't want them to hear me singing. Can I just say, first of all, horrible, shameful. This picture is horrible. My title is horrible. Everything was horrible. And I never went back and fixed it. And it finally sold. And it was returned. So this is...
Oh, no.
Yes. So this is a bracelet that I picked up for super cheap, sold for $9.99 eventually, miraculously. And then the woman got it. The measurements were there and everything, but she got it. She said, oh, it's not, it didn't fit. Even though I measured my wrist, I thought it would work, but it didn't work. So yeah, I mean, my title is horrible. My pictures are horrible, but it was something that I had listed a long time ago and never went back and fixed. So I won't be relisting this. I will probably put it into a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so here is my dud, and you would think, oh, Jay, that sold for $70. How's that a dud?
How is that a dud? It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a very cool Marilyn Manson concert poster from back in the early days, framed with glass. As I was packing it, I broke the glass. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So conversed with the customer. He still wanted it without the glass. So I removed the glass and shipped it out to him. And once he gets it and he accepts it, we will then discuss the discount, which it will be hefty because I messed up. But that's one of those things where if you communicate properly and with some compassion to your customer, could and should work out. Not always, but it could. Now, my other dud.
Oh, did the glass end up cutting the poster, or was it?
No, because I'd already taped it with a blue tape just in case it broke in transit. So when I broke it right there, the blue tape held it all together.
Oh, well, that's lucky.
Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm on the big screen, so I need to wait a quick second because I'm not sure which computer is now controlling our show. So I think it's going to be the other computer because the other dud I have right here live and in person. Oh, no. All right, cool. All right, here's the other dud. I sold this CD for a whopping $8, Margaret.
What?
Why is it a dud, you ask?
It was $8?
No, there was no CD in it. And I'm not exactly sure how I listed it because when I list CDs, I take them off and I look at the condition so I can tell Amazon what the condition is. How the hell I listed this CD is beyond me.
You know what? I'm so glad that we did this because we made errors in our listings. A friend of mine listed a bike today. He made an error and somebody jumped all over him because he's on YouTube. And he was like, well, I'm just a person. I'm sharing my mistake. You know, they're like, well, you share. Anyway, sorry. Story for later. But I'm just saying, you know, we make mistakes.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
All right. You've seen our scores. You've seen our duds. Now it's time for Close Encounters of the Thrifty Kind. Where Margaret and I will tell you some stories about funny, weird, or angry customers we ran into in the thrift store.
Who's first, you or me?
You are first.
Oh, okay. So, do I wait for the picture to come up?
It's up. It'll be there. It'll be there in a second or two or 10 minutes. Who knows?
I'm gonna start. So I went to a thrift store that I don't always go to because usually their prices are a little bit higher than normal. But sometimes I'll find a coat rack or I don't know, find something there. So anyway, I'm sitting there looking through the jewelry like I do, and I hear this woman behind me say, "Excuse me, would you like a sample?" And I turn around and there's a girl standing there with a tray full of little cakes, like little cake samples. So they have a little cafe in this thrift store where they give away cakes or sell stuff. And I have to be honest, one time I went in there and it was free hot dog day. So I was like, cake while I'm thrifting? Don't mind if I do. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know if I would trust a thrift store handing out cake and hot dogs. That doesn't seem like
but it worked, right? I found my thrifty tip. Yeah. And I asked her, I said I have to take a picture of you, do you mind? And she said yeah, she said it didn't happen if you don't get proof. And I was like, thank you so much for understanding. Yeah.
And was the cake good?
I didn't eat it. I didn't, because I'm trying to cut the carbs, yo.
All right. Well, good girl on that.
I didn't eat it.
Oh, those of you who watched last week, you know my thrifting encounter was one of the craziest, where a woman hopped in my car. Okay, this week, specific type person, the world works in mysterious circles where everything just comes right back to where it should be. So this is a post from August 4th in the Thrifting Board. Debbie J. Parker. What's happening, Debbie? Did I find my first tiki in the wild? And that's called a three-faced bucket mug, although this one only has two faces because it has the name of the bar on it. Now, I collect three-faced bucket mugs, as does my friend Jeff. Jeff has a huge collection. His dwarfs mine. So Debbie said that I found my first one. I said, hell yeah, you did. And I don't even have one. And then my buddy Jeff, I don't own one either. Now, it's not a vintage mug. It's not worth a ton, but
bidding war.
Those of us who collect mugs, we would want it, okay? So that was August 4th. Cut to about 4 days ago, and this is a screenshot from the admin chat. Teresa Cox, one of my admins, says, my brother, niece, and grandniece are visiting the weekend. Guess where they want to go? Savers. Thrifting today, joy. And I said, keep your eyes open for tiki mugs. And Teresa Cox has never found a tiki mug until that day. And look at the mug she found. That exact mug that Debbie J. Parker shared the other day.
No way.
What the hell are the chances that's the mug that she finds?
That is wild.
Yeah. Is that the nuttiest coincidences? I mean, just like, there's like a million tiki mugs.
Yes.
That's the one she finds.
Yes. That's super awesome.
And Teresa was nice enough to send it to me. But funny enough, and you'll see it coming up, Teresa made the what not to do in the shipping section.
Oh, no.
All right. Oh, hey, guess what time it is, everybody? Woo! It's time to give away a prize.
Oh, yay.
Yay. All right. For those of you who don't know, I assume most of you tuning in are because of this prize, not because Margaret and I are just so charming. But Ecom Chicago is a great event in the Midwest. It happens every year in October. This year is October 19th through 21st. And I'm one of the speakers at Ecom Chicago, along with who else we got speaking? Robin Johnson, my friend who wrote the book, The Accidental Entrepreneur. My buddy Cliff Enico, who is an attorney and an author, and he tells you, the unfun but needed legal stuff for your business. Steven Peterson, he hosts an e-commerce podcast that I've been on a couple times. And so it's going to be a great, great event. And thanks to the the people who put on Ecom, Rich and Nyla and Mark and Robin, they 4 passes to give away for the event. And, typically you'd pull names out of a hat, but because it's me, we're going to pull names out of a tiki bowl.
I like it.
Now, just to show you, all the names are in here from the post in the Thrifting Board. And this is no names. Ken Fouts is in here. Brenda Harmon's in here. Amy Moore's in here. Danielle Villalobos in here. Caroline Hardo's in here. Alicia Peters. So I'm going to mix it up. Yep. Now, the whole point is you got to be able to go to Chicago. Last year, I picked one of these names, and the person who won, and I already told people, you got to be able to go to Chicago. The person who won went, oh, I can't go to Chicago. So let's hope whoever I pick can go to Chicago in October. It's a lot of fun.
I went last year. I was sick as a dog. Oh, my gosh. But it was great.
All right. Oh, and here's the other thing. You have 60 seconds to say, hey, Jay, I'm here. So either do it in, either do it in the YouTube chat, or if you're not in the chat, maybe you're on mobile, just go to Facebook and message me. All right. So you just got to say, hey, Jay, I heard my name. All right. Our first winner, I'm going to set this down.
I'm trying.
Christine Larson. And these are written so small. Oh, you can kind of read it.
Christine
Larson, you have 60 seconds to tell me that you're here or we go on to somebody else.
People in the chat that aren't Christine Larson are saying, I'm here.
Yep. So Christine Larson,
there she is. Holy crap, that's me. She's there.
Oh, all right, cool. All right, Christine. So you need to message me on Facebook after the show and just say, hey, Jay, I won. And I will get you all squared away. Okay.
Congratulations, right, so Christine.
Let's do the next one here. We'll
I thought you were going to do them at the same time. Oh, I
wasn't gonna, but since we're kind of screwy today, I'm gonna do them together.
I don't mind if we go late. I'm good. My drum roll is not very powerful.
And our second and next winner is Kim Gordon.
Kim Gordon.
There it is. Boop, boop. I want to thank my assistant Sophia for writing all these little names out for me too today.
Yay, Kim is there. She just said congrats to
Did she say congrats to herself?
No, she was saying congrats to oh gosh, I can't remember the other name, Christine. And then I just saw her name pop up. So
yep. Yeah. All right, cool. Now, here's the deal. I have 2 more to give away next week. And what I'm going to do is one's going to be on the show for next Thursday, Thrifty Business. And then one's going to be specifically for the Secret Beach. So, Secret Beach members, you're going to get, you're going to have a much better odds, obviously.
Very cool.
So Kim and Christine both message me later, and then I will hook you up with Mark, and Mark will get you all squared away. So I will put your names in this Denison glass so I remember who you are for later.
Are you doing a tiki run again like you did last year?
I'm not sure yet. I got to work that all out, but I'm doing a live show. So here's what I'm doing. I'm doing a live Thrifty Business show, and I get a full hour, and I want to make it bigger and badder. And I got like ideas for like props and costume changes. So I'm going to work it all out, but it's going to be pretty impressive. So if you can't make Ecom Chicago, you'll be able to watch my show. And if you want to come and you didn't just win just now, there is a code, and the code is Tiki, T-I-K-I, saves you $20 off the admission. And the admission is only $200, and you get 3 days of learning. It's pretty. So with the discount, it's $180.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, it was just back to back. It was just packed. You know what I mean?
Yep. It was a lot of fun. So congratulations, winners, and tune in next week. And I will start a new post for next. So you'll have to do it all over again and tune in next week. All right. Now it is time for our thrifty tips of the week. Oh dear, I forgot the sponsor. Coming back. Coming back. 30 tips of the week is brought to you by Stamps.com. Stamps.com's online postage service enables small businesses, enterprises, and online retailers to print U.S. Postal Service approved postage with just a computer, printer, and internet connection right from their home or office. And I've been selling all this glassware, Margaret, and I'm using Stamps.com all day long because they bring the commercial discount to the pricing. It is so worth it to get stamps.
Very cool.
So worth it. All right. So I'm going to go first on the thrifty tip. Now, I'm going to go a little nerdy on numbers here because I was thinking about this wrong. And luckily, there was a very nice Savers, and she said, no, you ain't thinking about it right. Here's how it works. I'm like, okay, cool. So here's the deal. The new Savers, and unfortunately, for those of you watching don't have Savers, I'm sorry, but this had to be told for the Savers shoppers. The new you log in your information into the computer, and every day you could save 20% off at Savers if you spend $100 the last time you were at Savers, or a combo of, say, the last couple times. And you can only save 20% off of $100. So say you're ringing out with $200, you're only saving 20% off the first 100. So here, okay, you ready, Margaret?
I'm ready.
You don't have Savers.
No, I see where this is going, though.
Yeah. If you get 20% off of $100 after you spend $100. But if you only spend, they take the discount off, and then you're only logging in $80. So you don't get a discount. Because to get the 20% off, you have to spend $100 before tax and after discount. So I was about to spend $100 thinking I was going to get the discount on the next 100. And she said, no, because once I take the thing off, you're only getting $80. Okay. So, but if you spend $125 minus 20% equals $100, and then you get your next 20% offer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I know. But it wasn't registering in my brain. But here's the deal. I don't know if they'll do this everywhere, but they are doing it for us in Vegas. Spend $125 and stop, ring out, and then keep going out of your cart. Because the other day I was spending about $260.
Wow.
And still only come up first 100. So they're nice enough to stop, ring you out, and then start again. So I get the discount, and then I do it again. And then when I'm done, I got another discount for the next time, and the next time, and the next time. So make sure. Now, if you didn't catch that, if it went too fast, just go back and watch the show later and then figure it out. But you want to make – oh, do I have a spelling error? Oh, I do have a spelling error. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. But that's what you got to do. Yes, the question, is the discount with Savers worldwide? Well, I don't know about worldwide, but definitely United States wide. It's their whole new process. So that's how you get 20% off. All right, Margaret, you're up.
Okay, so this is a dress that I bought in the nastiest, well, if you live in Galveston, this is the Seawall Goodwill. That is not the best Goodwill. But anyway, I found this dress. It's a Diane von Furstenberg dress, and it was in the lingerie, like nightgown section. I think because it was a wrap dress, they thought it was a robe. So I found this 100% silk Diane von Furstenberg dress in the lingerie nightie section. So I spent $7.99 on it, and it sold for $100. So yeah, definitely check all sections, because sometimes things are put in the wrong place. This was a wrap dress in the robe section, nightgown robes.
Oh yeah, I find stuff in the wrong place all the time.
Yeah. So yeah, I was glad to sell the dress because I don't really sell clothes.
And So let me ask you real quick. It's not part of the segment, really. Are you using photo editing software to get everything just white and then your dress is there?
Yeah, I use PhotoFuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice picture.
I took the picture. I took it. I can't remember where I took this picture. Oh, it was on the wall in my bedroom. It's like a light blue kind of wall. Yeah. I hung it in the wall.
Cool.
And yeah.
All right. Now it is time for You Got to Be Shipping Me, brought to you by Bubble Fast. And Bubble Fast is one of the main sponsors of Ecom Chicago. Bubble Fast is a family-owned business providing community since 1999. Bubble Fast, the internet's home for shipping supplies. Use JNA for 10% off. That is your code. I ordered, I was selling a lot of glassware, so I ran out of peanuts. I ordered a bunch of peanuts, and it was here 2 days later. Boom, free shipping. Gotta love it. Plus minus 10%. All right. You're up first, Margaret. Excuse me.
Okay, so there is a phone number, and I have to give a big shout out to Aisha. I'm going to say your last name. Aisha Swafford, I think is how you say your last name. But she shared this in the Thrifting Board. I shared it over in ILOT, International League of Thrifters. There is a phone number you can call. I know we can go onto the USPS, United States Postal Service website and order, priority boxes and bubble mailers and blah, 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 right, for free. But there's no tape. So there's a number you can call, and you can order up to 10 rolls of priority mail tape. They ask you a bazillion questions, it feels like. But I timed it on my phone. It took about 5 minutes for me to call. Because they were like,
go.
how are you? Do what?
And go. I
was like, they really did. I mean, in the group, and this is one of my members' pictures that, I got my tape already, So I did. It felt like they were asking, like, what are you going to use this tape for? Why do you want the tape instead of the stickers? And so you just have to say, because I have brown boxes. I want it looking cool. I don't know.
There you go.
So yeah, call and you can get 10 free rolls of priority mail tape.
That's awesome. And I got to do that. Now, I mentioned Teresa Cox, my admin who knows what she's doing, made the What Not to Do segment this week. Now, even though it's almost impossible to read, I did black out her address, my address. But here's the deal. She had a thermal label and then put tape over top of it. That is a huge What Not to Do, because it only went from Phoenix to Vegas, which driving is only 4.5 hours. As you can see, it's almost disappeared. I'm not sure they were able to scan this, and my address was so gone. The little red line to the right, someone at some point wrote it on there in pen. So some postal worker wrote my address because it was quickly disappearing. So if you're using thermal labels, don't put tape over it. Don't.
I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Yeah. All right, and our last segment is our eBay tip of the week, brought to you by freeup.com. FreeUp with 3 E's is the hands-on solution to hire remote e-commerce workers. FreeUp vets hundreds of workers a week, so you get access to the top 1% of online talent whenever you need them. Sign up is free, no monthly fees, no minimum hours. Get the workers you need and only pay for the hours they work. Brenda, hey Brenda, I see you in the chat. A loyal viewer of the show, heard Nate when he was on, is now on her way to building a remote empire with her team of FreeUp workers. Go to freeup.com with 3 E's to start to free up your time and scale your business.
All right. Is it yours or mine? Oh, this is mine. Okay. Is that your phone? Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hung up on it.
So my eBay tip is, if you have not yet, make sure to sign up for eBay Partner Network. It's similar to like an Amazon affiliate. I don't make nearly as much with eBay Partner Network as I do with my Amazon affiliates, but basically what this is an eBay affiliate network. So whenever I do, say, Pinterest parties, or if I am pinning something from eBay, I make sure that I run it through and grab the link through eBay Partner Network, because then when I pin it, anytime somebody goes to that site, eBay, through the link, my link, it's sort of like I get a finder's fee if they end up spending any money on eBay. So that is something to look into. And I know we didn't have time to really go into it deeply because we're running late, but I will have to create a video sharing how to do that. Did I explain it adequately? You're quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good thing. Definitely look into it. Now, mine is also a bonus score, so a bonus little bolo. These are two gravel arts that went together. It was a matador and a flamenco dancer, and they were $5. I think I paid $12 for the pair. But what I wanted to share with you is, instead of making one long picture and putting both of them side by side, my assistant, double deckered them. So the one's sitting a little bit higher than the other one, so you can still see both, but they're in a nice square. So it fills up your picture nicely, and it looks good on the customers who shop on cell phones. So make sure that when you have things like this, you don't have to go side by side. Go top bottom. Top bottom is my tip for the night. All right, before we get to everyone that I'm heading off to Europe very soon, and if you follow me on any social media channels, we'll be using this hashtag Thrifty Europe, so it'll be easy to find. And this is the all-night flea market in Lille, France. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, Lille. It goes from 2 p.m. on Saturday to 11 p.m. on Sunday. So my wife and I and Anna Hill and her husband Michael will be there. And we'll be broadcasting, we'll be Instagramming, we'll be Facebooking, we'll be doing all the stuff that I normally do, but from Europe. And if you're listening to this show and you live in Europe, I'm having 2, maybe 3 meetings, obviously, because there's a ton of them in Europe. So join the Thrifting Board, come on over, and I'll be getting the dates up this weekend. Dates, times, and places for the Thrifting Board, Thrifty Business, Thrift Hunters Hangouts in Europe. So stay tuned for that.
You're going to do one in the UK? Because I've got lots of UK buds.
Oh, yeah. We're doing one main one in London and one side one maybe in London. So
very cool.
So stay tuned for all of that. All right. Holy cow. I think it's actually working better now. So let's see if we can get Craig in here without too much headache. All right. So let me try this and... Oh, wish me luck.
You got this.
All right.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that I was.
My God, the best reveal of a guest ever. That. Oh my God, I must have that wig.
Time, so I thought I'll get my hair done. I have a little time in there in between, so.
And you're drinking out of another Sarah. I'm going to throat punch you.
No, you're not. That's the Bride of Frankenstein. You can't
no, but he's drinking out of a Sarah tiki mug. He seems to have a collection.
Don't worry. Okay, I'll stop drinking out of Sarah's. I'm sorry.
So before we get really into why you're here, can you stand up a little bit and show your, oh my God.
What?
Oh my God. He's drinking out of tiny wooden tiki mugs. Now, Craig did not know my score this week was going to be one of the Shag Disneyland shirts, and he happened to show up wearing one of the Shag Disneyland shirts. I have sold that shirt for over $300.
It is not leaving my house.
Oh, I got my own. I just happened to find some, so.
I just heard from my husband it might leave the house if he can get enough for it. But no, I'm a Shag fan. We actually have a couple of Shag prints. And yeah, I saw this when I was down at one of our 30+ trips to Disney, and I had to have it.
So before we get into why you're here, give us the 30-second Craig bio. Who are you? Pets, kids, married, where do you live, blah, blah, blah.
Well, first, I'm actually bald. Shocking. I didn't do this, actually. I didn't shave my head to actually, like, emulate Jason. I'm literally a bald guy. So my name is Craig Dawson. My nickname is Bad Dog. My husband is named Good Dog. I've been thrifting and reselling and working on everything. Mainly started with collectible toys and G.I. Joe, Barbie, a lot of pop culture stuff back 25+ years ago, and evolved as we went along, and joined eBay, I think, about a year after it opened. We used to sell things on places like Rec Collecting Dolls. That's how old we are, before eBay was even around. And now we've been, as I say, about 20 plus years on eBay, and have lived in Canada. We do a lot of our sales actually around about 80% to the US, about 10% around the world, and about 10% in Canada.
Which part of Canada are you in?
We're in Toronto, so we're a little over an hour north of Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
Which we thrift at an awful lot. Because they got really cool estate sales there.
All right, so that's Craig in a nutshell. And the reason we have Craig on and Margaret, you know, I already asked Margaret to be my co-host this week, but it worked out really well with our topic. So Craig said, "Hey Jay, I want to start a Facebook group," and I said, "You're insane, don't do it." And I said, "No," I said, "Yeah, go ahead, do it, and I'll help you promote it." And Craig said, "Hey, I want to start a group for Canadian sellers because there are trials and tribulations that we as American sellers, we don't deal with." And so it is nice, even though we have talked about Canadian stuff in Thrifting Board, and I'm sure in Margaret's group too, but it is nice to have that one place where you can really talk about what ails you. And I know what ails you guys a lot in a second, but I thought it was a pretty unique show because I've ran Facebook groups now for 8 years. How long have you ran them for Margaret?
About 2.
And tell us your groups.
I have International League of Thrifters and Jewelry Lovers and Sellers. Those are my main 2. Yeah.
Oh, you got even more. I've been 8 years. Margaret's been 2 years. How many years for you, Craig?
6 days.
6 days.
Group number 1, I started about a week ago. Yeah. And group number 2, because I wanted to try and see if I could expand it a little bit, is 4 days old and has 1 member. Which, well, besides myself, which is 60s and 70s.
That's a sad group, 1 member.
Well, I know, but I just started it to see if I could remember. Actually, part of it was to go, it's so easy. Could I start another group without really doing too much and try to get in? Now the part is the growth of the group and things like that are what's the interesting part.
Yeah.
And so the reason we want to talk about this tonight, and it's not, you know, so specific to being a thrifter or reseller, but we all have passions and we all have things that we collect or do, or Margaret's got kids. I got a pug, so I'm in pug groups. I have a Ford Raptor truck. I'm in Ford Raptor groups. And now I didn't start those groups, but someone did. And, you know, we're all in groups. And so maybe somebody out there listening to us right now said, I want to start a group. So I thought we'd talk about a little bit about like what it takes and what it takes to run a group. Because let me tell you, it ain't for the weak at heart. I'll tell you right now.
No.
Now Craig hasn't got into the things that Margaret and I have got into because it comes with size too. You know, I'm at 32,000. How many are in International League of Thrifters, Margaret?
We're about 6,500. And
how many are in craft, Craig?
66.
Not 6,600, just 66.
But just 66.
Good start.
Not yet.
So Craig took some screenshots, and so Craig, tell us about what made you and your husband decide that let's start a Facebook group.
Well, part of what we kept, there's a number of things. We started seeing a lot of things where people were either in the Thrifting Board asking questions about Canada or asking for rates or can you ship to Canada. We also saw Canadians who would see something that we'd see typed in. It was like, oh, well, that doesn't apply to us. So we started thinking, is there a way that we could help those who are in Canada actually look at things a little differently? We have ebay.ca and access to ebay.com. So when we list things here, we can list them in Canadian dollars and get paid in Canadian dollars, or we can list them in US dollars and get paid in US dollars. We used to, up until June of 2016, be able to list on ebay.ca in US funds. And the one thing that Canadians always love is getting US money because it's about 30% higher than Canadian dollars. So when, just like US people like coming across the border to go to the Niagara Falls View Casino because they take $100 and they get 140. It's the other way around for us. It's like if we sell something in the US for $100, we're getting $140 Canadian or $130 Canadian. So nice. We looked at that and thought, well, there's some things there. We have a big thing up in a lot of parts of Canada, which is Kijiji, which is our sort of, it expanded and kind of took over what Craigslist did in the US. So it's a much more familiar place for people to post. So if people kept seeing Craigslist, and they were in Canada, they would go, oh, nobody really goes there in some markets.
It's
so
called what again?
Kijiji.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Fun names. They're like Toonies and Kijiji.
Kijiji.
Kijiji was in the United States. eBay thought they would compete with Craigslist, and it just disappeared quick here. But in Canada, and I know our Canadian friends use it.
Oh, big time! It's if you go and look up garage sales, for example, on a weekend, you will see 16 listed in Toronto on Craigslist, and you'll see 100 listed on Kijiji. So it's actually the opposite. So it was some of those things we just looked at. We thought there's people in Canada who might ask, how do we do certain things? We have shipping options and shipping challenges in Canada that you don't have in the US with USPS. Right now, for example, we just sold a painting, and we're trying to figure out how to potentially use FedEx Smart Post. Because if I ship it through Canada Post, the painting is going to cost me $95 to ship to Oregon. If I shipped it through Canada Post and I'm a Venture One seller, which is just somebody who signs up for free for a business card, they actually can get it down to $65. Unfortunately, the guy only paid $20. So if I send it via USPS, and in Toronto and a number of other cities in Canada, we have a great company that's doing drop shipping that lets you buy postage through stamps.com. And actually they drive across the border every single night with a truckload and drop it off at a USPS station. So we can actually use USPS postage. So that's how it actually saved my eBay business. One of the Thrifting Board members, Jane Gilbert, actually told me about this company. It was like, oh, wow, I found it. It's like, I can actually ship now. It doesn't cost me $15 to ship a mug across the city. And that's literally what it can be. But right now, that's our challenge. We're trying to figure out in Canada, how do we use FedEx Smart Post? Because it's only applicable in USPS. So we're trying to figure out that answer, and then hopefully be able to talk to Canadian sellers about, hey, if you got big items, learn from Peggy how to pack them, and then learn how you can ship them without having to worry about doing it through just FedEx in Canada. So there might be some options there. So that's just one of the things that we're trying to go. We have some differences, but we want to use as much as we can benefit towards helping Canadians build their reselling.
And that's awesome.
I mean, I never even would have thought of that, like those kind of problems, you know?
Well, one of the other ones that a lot of people don't think about in Canada, and we posted this on Craft as one of our first posts, is in the collectible world, Canadian packaging has French on it, English and French. And if you are a unopened package collector, so you want to keep those collectibles on display still in their original boxes, US customers do not want to see French writing on them. It's been a big thing for us for years, especially when we were dealing in the Barbie business. There are some collectibles that people would want to deal with which have tri-language. So it's Spanish, French, and English. There's some collectibles that are actually even better with multi-language. Like vintage Star Wars fanatics, and even vintage strawberry shortcake collectors love a lot of the stuff that was done in Brazil and some of the other markets around the world, because it's so unique to find multi-language packaging. But in general, most people don't want it because it actually covers up some of the things that are on the actual packaging. So we wanted to make sure that Canadians thought, if you're posting, make sure it's in your picture, but always put in your comments that this is a bilingual package. We have had people receive packages and then send us an email or an eBay email saying, this is French and English. It's like, well, the picture was there. So it helps if it's like secondarily, it's not just a photo. Some people look at a photo and buy right away. But some people, if you've got something else, you might be able to alleviate an issue with a buyer by saying, oh, I'm sorry about that. It was in the photo, and we did mention it in the comments that it was an English and French package. How can we come to a solution that will make you happy now? And a lot of cases, it's like, oh, here's a partial refund. Take it out of the box and play with it. Like, that's kind of our answer.
So this is awesome, Margaret, because he saw a need, and just listening to that little bit, all things I would have never known about, thought about, but as a Canadian seller, you need to think about. And it could be posted in either one of our groups, and I wouldn't mind it at all. But there's a need. Same thing with my Ford Raptor. I could be in a general truck group, but I just like one truck, the one I own. So I want to be in a very specific truck group. And, you know, when I did my first group, I wanted to be just about thrifting. And then we started other groups about shipping and marketing. But this new, you know, my current one is kind of all encompassing. Margaret, what made you want to start a group about thrifting and now jewelry?
Well, I mean, basically same kind of thing. Just we wanted a whole group where the focus was positive and people could, I mean, at the time there weren't a whole lot of groups. There were, I'm not talking about yours at all, but there were other groups where if you were a newbie, you were just, if you asked a question that was a newbie question, you were made fun of or told, you know, like, I can't stand these romper room posts and blah, 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 you know. So we wanted a group where if you were new, if you were seasoned, if you were anything, you could come in because maybe somebody started yesterday. I started 2 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. You know, somebody could come in and say, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this. And nobody is going to make fun of you or make you feel bad. Because when I was starting, there were your groups was maybe starting. I don't know. Yours wasn't started yet. Your thrifting board hadn't started yet. So I had posted in some groups, and I mean, some members just ripped me to shreds. So when we started our group, I said, you know what? That is going to be the line. And yeah, sometimes things, you know, slip through and happen. But we try to nip it in the bud as soon as we come across it, because there's a way, you know, you can give someone constructive criticism without making them feel like crap. That was our thing.
Absolutely. And question for you, Craig, how many admins do you have besides you right now? Any?
Just my partner, Rick. He's the second admin. So I'm sure that at some point we'll grow and want to have more admins to it. But right now, I figured with under 100, we can handle it with the two of us.
Well, yeah. But, you know, Barbara Colson in the chat, hey, Barbara, she had a great point, and I definitely don't want to, you know, if you didn't see it real quick in the chat, you wouldn't see it. I definitely want to get to this because you're going to need to know this, Craig. If you start a Facebook group, the key to running a good, successful, grow kick-ass admins, because you can do it now with 66, but let me tell you, with 32,000, because I've even gotten grief that I have so many, and I'm like, we have 32,000 under 2 years. And I got 10 ladies that help me run the group, and I love them all, and they all bring difference. And but without them, because if you don't have them and it starts to grow, you won't have a life at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Margaret, how many do you have right now?
We, including myself, we have 11, which was a stretch. I mean, for a while it was like maybe there were 3 or 4 of us, and when it started growing, I was like, y'all, we got to get more people in here because it's not enough. So we did. Yeah. And
the key to anyone starting a Facebook group, here's the key. Here's what you need. Here's what you need from your admins. 3 things. You need them in various parts of the world or country, because they'll be in different time zones. Mm-hmm. And the other 2 kind of go together. You need to find admins. Now, I didn't go out looking for them, but all my admins ended up this way, so it kind of worked out. You need to find admins that have weird sleeping patterns and then maybe have an ailment that keeps them up at different times. Because I think I have one, and I'm counting myself in there. I think I have one healthy admin, and it ain't me. And so, you know, you'd be hard pressed to find a time where there isn't an admin in the group. I mean, all hours of the day. And so, Craig, and anyone else starting a Facebook group, don't pick admins that are in your time, all in your time zone, right? Because you do want that coverage, and not so much for the policing part, but the helping part, you know. But you need the policing too, but the helping part.
I was hoping that as we go along and grow, that's what we would get, admins that want to come in and help us as well, because we know Stu Gibb, people who actually know things about Stu Gibb, other areas that people don't know, parts of the country Stu Gibb that people are in that other people aren't in Stu Gibb. And so somebody like that might work really well in helping Stu Gibb get on to knowing more things about what's happening. So Stu Gibb.
Yeah. And you know, Margaret, are yours spread out across the country?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Andrea's in the UK, and Rachel's in Wales, and, you know, so we've got, you know, in the UK and Wales. Well, I guess Wales is partner, you know, and then here across the states. So for sure, all over.
And hey, let's talk about this, because the great thing just popped up. And Craig, this is definitely for you. And Margaret and I have been down this path a couple times, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone who wants to start a Facebook group, let me tell you, person who's trustworthy today might not be trustworthy tomorrow. So just be prepared for that. I don't want to talk gloom and doom, but it has happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened to Margaret. It will happen to you, Craig. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And so you take care of it. Apologize. And that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as
go on.
I was just going to say, as Margaret said, one of the things that I've learned even already from both of you is the positivity of this is what I want to keep moving forward on. It's like, we don't want a group that's going to turn into a giant bitch fest. There are a number of those, and you can join one if you'd like, but it's really not helpful in any way, shape, or form to do that. So I would be looking the same thing, hoping admin would be like, okay, I got to help on something like this. I can help through things and make it better.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We make sure, like, if you're going to comment on a thread, it needs to be, I mean, we have some that are fun and things, but like, if it's something that someone's asking for sincere help, like, you need to make sure that it's a productive response, you know? Yeah.
And I got to tell you, though, most of my admins have been with me since the get-go. There's a couple been there for 8 years with me now. Hey, Christine, I know you're on vacation, but you'll probably watch this later. And I've got some new ones, and just some are going to move on because their life changed, and that's cool. And some you're going to have to just let go because, you know, things didn't go. I mean, look, my first groups, I had a partner, and he didn't. So I ran the groups all by myself, basically. And that's why I will never have a partner again, but I will have people I trust, and I trust all the admins. And I know Lorna's in the chat, and I think Bridget was in the chat before. And so, I mean, I trust all these ladies with my life and my groups. And so when I'm running off to Europe soon, they're going to be in charge, because I'm actually, I will check in maybe once a day, but I'm actually going to take a vacation where I just kind of enjoy my wife and the time and the new cities and all that stuff. So there'll be a point, Craig, where you're like, oh my God, I'm on Facebook way too much, but you got to find that balance. And that's the other thing.
Well, and that's actually one of the things that I wanted to ask a little bit sort of live for you guys right now. And that's what we are finding, my husband and I, that we already are looking at it, trying to go, well, we need to make sure there's content there. We need to try and drive something. So if somebody joins, they're not sitting there going, well, I joined a group and absolutely nothing's happening in the group.
Oh, yeah.
So what would some suggestions be from you guys
group
to say, how do you help build the group? How do you expand who it is? My second group, as I told you, the little one, 60s and 70s TV fans, has 2 of us. And I started it because of a couple of people who liked a post that I had done, actually, I believe it was on the Thrifting Board, where I had found an old Hollywood Squares paperback, and all it was filled with Paul Lind and Charlie Weaver all answering questions. And there's about 400 questions in this thing. And I posted 3 of the questions, and I got a lot of people go, oh, that's so fun. I remember that. Who's that in the corner? Who's that beside Rosemary? And I thought, you know what? This is an area that I love, 60s and 70s TV, from the game shows all the way through to the regular TV shows. So with that, I only have 2 members. Now I'm trying to figure out, how do I grow with that? Suggestions? Jason, Margaret?
You know, I already had established one, but it took us a long time. Like Thrifting with the Boys, it was 6 years to get to 16,000. The Thrifting Board is less than 2 years to get to 32,000. So, you know, I established myself. Now, do I remember what I was doing back then? And I have a live Facebook feed, so I'm sorry you're seeing all my little things there. Oh yeah. But it's one of those things where, like currently, I'm in thrifting groups, specific thrifting groups, and I sell quite often in them. And those groups are part selling and part fun and learning. And I realized I had not done anything but sell, and I felt kind of bad. Now I'm putting some content in there, helpful content, and then people start to know your name. So you got to leave your own group, go to other groups, kind of promote yourself, but ask. Like, of course, you can promote in my group because we're buddies. You're on my show. It's cool. But if you want to promote your group to Canadian sellers, so other thrifting groups, it'd be cool, but you got to talk to the owner, like Margaret.
Right.
You know, it's the one thing that drives me insane. We all have rules in the houses we live in. Craig, you got rules. Margaret, you got rules. I would never come to your house and just kick my feet up on your furniture.
Right. Yeah.
Is this cool? Same thing. My house is the Thrifting Board. Your house is International League of Thrifters. Your house is Craft. All you got to do is ask, because if you ask and it's good content and I think my followers would like it, I'll be more than happy to let you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But just ask. I'm assuming it's the same way for you, Margaret.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's actually, I've started reaching out already to like I did a reach out to 3 other groups, and they're very large groups, but I know I see people on them who are Canadians and they're not part of Craft yet. So with one of them, which is a mid-century modern group that I'm in, mid-century modern kitsch, it's, I asked the person there, I said, because every Monday I wanted to do a topic that was about mid-century modern in Canada because people don't know enough about it. And I asked them,
that's a bad group, Craig. So we're not going to talk about them no more. Okay.
Well, they said, hey, you can promote that.
But here, since you brought them up, that's a group that allows in hatred.
Oh, okay.
And I was flying home on a plane, and as I was getting on the plane, people started messaging me that someone started talking mad grief about me, and the admins and the owner didn't squash it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No, I just like looking at all the pictures.
And that's cool. But I never fly in my group. I would never fly in Margaret's group.
No.
And I wasn't planning on getting Wi-Fi. And I flew all the way from Atlanta to Vegas, and I just watched all these people who were in the Thrifting Board talking shit about me and the admins in my group, yet they were participating daily and getting help, and they thought they were behind closed doors, but I was in the group. So, yeah, see, in the chat right now, people are going, that's a bad group. And I didn't set out to talk shit, but since you started to promote them.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know. I mean, again.
I know you did, so I ain't mad at you, but that's a good example of what not to do. Don't allow negativity. There's plenty of it in our world. Look at the news all day, and we ain't gonna get into politics, but it's just negativity everywhere. Yeah. And so my group, Margaret's group, Craft, it's a place of positivity and only help and fun and shenanigans. Always bring the shenanigans, Craig. And with your wigs, that's how you'll get out there. Go to other places, pictures with your wigs. Hey, here's the thrifty stuff I found. Hey, I'm talking Canada or Craft. That's how you get yourself out there too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's look at your group, Craig. It is Canadian Resellers, Antiquers, Flea Market Fans, and Thrifters, which spells out Craft.
Craft.
Look at you, Medusa, looking sassy.
I had to. You said wigs. I had to grab another one.
I love it.
This is my from my Chris March collection. I actually was at Target a number of years ago, and I grabbed a bunch of them and had to have them just for Facebook profile photos. So
they're awesome.
Well, get serious about our group.
No.
All right. So you sent me some screenshots of starting a group. Oops, that's for in a second. So why don't you talk us through these couple screenshots you got here?
Well, this was just, again, what I wanted to try and go as, because you can't recreate what you did when you launched it, as I thought I'll do that creation to try and do the 60s and 70s TV show fans. And it was unbelievable how easy it was to actually go and do it. You just go into a group. It actually has places on there where it can say create a group, and you click on something and you can actually create a group. I'm not sure if that's the first one or not.
Hang on. Did I have my? Oh, I'm sorry. I did have it.
Yeah,
so there it is. Create a group.
Then all you do is just name your group. So I named it 60s and 70s TV show and fans, and add some people. And right now, just because I didn't want to add people who didn't know what the heck I was doing, I just added my husband and said, okay, I was going to go in there. It even suggests friends that are in your list. So if you have other friends you know already who like that sort of stuff, if you were starting a jewelry group and you like jewelry, if you started a tiki group and you've got all these friends, you can all pick them right off at the beginning. Then there was something that was new to me, which is selecting the group to be public or private
or closed.
Yep. And that was something that so with a public group, I'm learning. And so we thought, because we're opening the group for the beginning and we want anybody to be able to see every post that's in there to get a feel for what's in there. You don't have to join in order to see what's in the group. We've left the group as public. Probably, and a couple of people who've signed up have suggested it. At some point it's going to go from public to private. And all that means is that someone will have to ask us to join the group before they see all the posts that are in there. But
don't go to private, go to closed.
Closed, sorry.
Yes.
I don't even know all the terminology yet.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's why we're having this show. Yeah, because private, you can't even see to find it. And that is for things like my secret beach. But closed, yep, closed, you can see it. You just gotta ask to be let in.
So yeah, so that's where I would probably move to go to next. Once we got to like 1,000 members or something like that, we might go to closed as opposed to public. And from that, it was just little things on there. Like you can actually see some of the shortcuts I've got. So there's on my side, I've got the Canadian Resellers, which is ourselves. I do vintage Disney collectibles, the Secret Beach is in there, Thrifting Board, Broadway Babies, Guildwood Village, Pyrex, Everything Ideal, which is for grow hair Chrissy dolls. Like as I said, I did a lot of stuff with dolls. The famous story is my dad used to say, you can't have any female dolls in your collection. So when I had G.I. Joe, I had Johnny West, but I couldn't have his wife Jane. I couldn't have the daughters.
Oh.
I couldn't have Ken, but I couldn't have Barbie. And once I got older and started doing that, I actually said to my dad, guess what, Dad, I'm a Barbie collector now. And it's like, so that's why you've got the Chrissy grow hair dolls. That's one of the things on there as a helpful identifier group. That, as Jason was saying with the Fords, I go there to talk to people about Chrissy, to learn more about that specific thing, because it's such a narrow group. When the movies and TVs came up, it actually had suggestions of different things for you to pick. Then it gets to a point where you get to choose a little icon, which is actually probably one of the most difficult things I had to do, which was, which little tiny icon am I going to put beside this? Am I going to put a dice? Am I going to put a dog? Am I going to put... like that page drove me crazy for probably about like an hour. Everything was, it's all about this icon. What am I going to, no, you can change it anytime. So in this case, I thought, okay, I'll just pick this icon. This is a good one for us. So that's how easy it was to literally
it's like a 3-step process. Now you can edit it and get more in, and you put your little tags in and stuff. But you know, so anyway, so when I was, I'll see your Medusa hat and I'll throw my own on.
Oh my God!
You are not the only one, sir. You are not the only one.
Oh my gosh! I don't have one. I don't have one. No fair.
Mine still has the tags.
Oh, cool.
Some of mine do.
And mine was at Savers for $6.
Oh God, no, mine was full price at Target.
You thought you were the only funny one tonight, didn't you, buddy? I got
I need a hat now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Got no hats.
So those of you who are watching right now live, do you run a Facebook group, or do you want to run a Facebook group? Because it is fun, but there is trials and tribulations, and there's a little bit of a, but the joy, and here's where the joy comes from. Where the joy comes from for me. I see members who are selling on eBay because that's kind of the only way they can make money for various different reasons. I always go back to Tim Taylor, our good friend who's in a wheelchair. Tim types with his elbows, but he learned a lot from Thrift Hunters in my first group, my second group, and he is earning his own income. And so when those things happen, I thoroughly love to see the successes. And the success for those people are because I decided to start a Facebook group. Now, I ain't taking all the credit. I'll tell you right now. It is the 32,000 members. It is my 10 admins. And it is me. But I love seeing the successes. Now, not every group is going to be about successes. Now, when Craig's going to talk about 60s and 70s TV, it's going to be about people hanging out talking about 60s and 70s TV. When I'm in a Raptor group or I'm in a pug group, it's usually like, oh, look how cute my pug is, or look how badass my truck is. So there is no successes, so to speak.
Right.
But it is a rewarding thing, and it don't have to be a big group. You could, if you're going on a family vacation, or you're having you're having a wedding, you're getting married, or you're having a family reunion, start a group. And you can start a group for yourself. I have one group that I'm the only one in it, because when I'm teaching my Tiki webinars in my Secret Beach group, it's an easy, quick play the notes, super duper easy. Yeah. So I have a group with one person, but it keeps all my notes easy to find for me. What do you like about running a group, Margaret? Besides what I just said.
Well, I mean, for me, because I went from teaching to being a stay-at-home mom to, you know, running my own business at home. It was another way to have a connection with people and, you know, learn new things. I mean, people are sharing things that they are picking up. People are sharing, I don't know. I learn. Yeah, I like to learn stuff. So I like to see what people have got going on. So yeah, I mean, it's just connection, human connection for me. Yeah.
And, you know, I challenge some of you who are, you know, look, you know me and Margaret, and you can tell Craig already, we're the outgoing three. None of us are quiet and none of us are shy. But I challenge especially those of you who are more of the, I'm going to be over here in the corner. Start a group. Find something you love, you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a thing where people might be jerks, because if it's a group of 10 people, that's still a cool thing. But, you know, it's a quick, easy place. Look, my mom's in the chat. Hey, Ma. All ages are on Facebook. Now, I know it's not so cool with the youngins anymore, but you know, when 74-year-old mothers and grandmothers start getting on and using it, like my mom's using it to start an Ohio meetup group.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And it's the easiest way to connect with the world, I think.
Yeah, my sister just created, well, not just, but just a couple months ago, created a group because she's a beekeeper. She's a novice. She created a bee group in her area because there were beekeepers in her area, but there was not a group for that. So she created the group on Facebook, and slowly it's grown. I mean, it maybe has 100 members, maybe. But it's a place for her to connect with other beekeepers and share what's going on, you know, in their area for bees and stuff.
See?
Yeah.
And you made a really good point, because really, when you think about it, sometimes I feel like I'm I can't even say it, technologically challenged at times. My husband will attest to that I'm always saying, what do I do? And the idea that you can press 3 buttons and do something for your upcoming wedding, for a bachelorette party, for a high school reunion, or something like that. I have like a few hundred friends. I could easily talk about people who were ex-members of an ad agency that we all worked at. And we still all talk a lot.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily have a group. It's like, you just gave me an idea. It's like, hey, why don't I do the XJWT group? Because there's so many of us all over Toronto, and now some of us have moved across the country. But we're still talking to each other on Facebook on our posts. But I could have a group for them too.
Oh yeah. I mean, my admins and I have a group. It's just iLot admin group and Jewelry Lovers admin group. So it's like 11 of us, because it's easier than having this messenger thing going. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say this. I'm glad you mentioned that, Margaret, because I'll tell you this, Craig, too. We have 2 admin groups, one for positive stuff and one for not so positive stuff. So it's easier to keep track of. So yeah, you don't need it now, but there's going to be a point easier to have these. All right, here's the stuff we're going to work on next week. You just throw in this group, and then the 10 of you, whatever, can chat a lot easier. Because if you do it and you should have an admin chat. If you do it in an admin chat, because we talk about work stuff, group stuff, but then personal stuff, like, you know, my son's playing baseball, an award, you know, that kind of bullshit. It gets lost quick in the chat. So you got to have that group so you can put stuff, and it's easy to get to. So keep that in mind. And you make that one private for sure. No one needs to see those.
Yeah.
I've learned the difference between private now.
Yep. All right. So let's go with your scores, because you got a good variety and 2 duds and 1 dud that shouldn't be a dud. And when you explain why it was a dud, I'm like, yep, because kind of like my duds. I broke the glass and I lost the CD. So, you know, they're not always duds because they should be duds.
Well, yeah, that's very true. So the first one I think you've got up is a beer mug. And it's very localized, and this is the interesting thing about it. Is I found it at a Value Village. I actually found 4 of them, and I did a little research on it, like you should, as you always tell people before they go anywhere. And I actually found one of these that had sold for $50 US, and I thought, that's really strange. It sold for $50 US, and it's a Toronto Transit Commission, so it's people who are on buses and do the transit for the city of Toronto. I listed it in US funds for $49.98, and which is about $65-70 Canadian, and a guy bought it about 3 blocks from here. And drove up, picked it up, handed me the cash in U.S. funds. So it was like a good $70 flip from a Value Village, and I still have, as I say, 3 more of these. 2 of them are out at our antique mall booth right now.
You know, I would have looked and picked it up. I really wouldn't have. That is awesome. $50 for that. That is crazy awesome.
As soon as I saw the TTC logo, I thought, this is a private company. This is something that would have been some kind of incentive, internal. So as you've sort of pointed out with a lot of things, it's like when you see a jacket that's got like your t-shirts from a concert, that's the same kind of thing. It's a very narrow group that would get them in the first place. So I knew it could take a long time to sell. It took about 3 months. But this is the complete opposite, the one that you've got on right now, the foursome redhead hillbilly doll. We found this in at a flea market. It was in, I guess somebody had bought out a house, so there were boxes and boxes and boxes of everything that they had, and it was one of those places when you walk up and you sort of have to put the stuff together and go, what are you going to charge me for this? We bought a whole box of these dolls, a bunch of different things, paid $50 US for it because we got it across the border. And so probably ended up working out to about $3, $4 a doll at the end of the day. We put this up 1 hour. I got an offer.
Wow.
It's actually being shipped tomorrow using USPS. And the woman who bought it sent me a thing. I think we actually sold it for 50 instead of 58, but it was up for an hour. I thought $8, who cares? I paid 3, I got 47, flip it. And she sent me a wonderful little message saying, I have been looking for this since I was a child. It was my childhood doll. I cannot believe I found it. I'm so happy that you sent it, like that. You sold it to me, and I'm like, I'll sell it to anybody. It's like,
but, that's amazing, though.
But it was a nice story that made me feel good.
Awesome.
This was part of learning from Jason is branching out. You always branch out into things you have no clue what the heck you're doing. And CDs, I have no clue. Women's clothing. If you go to our YouTube channel, Two Dogs Digs, you'll see our very first thrift haul, which Jason was kind enough to watch my first video on. The first time I'd ever actually been filmed by my husband. And we went to a house that was filled with plus-size women's clothing. And it's like, okay, let's try plus-size women's clothing. And yesterday we went and bought a half plus-size mannequin just so we could actually display it properly so that it wouldn't go, I wasn't going to wear it. It wasn't going to sit on the floor like some of the bad photos. It's like I've learned how I got to take good photos. I got to show something right. This was at a garage sale. A guy had 11:30 in the morning, so it'd been on for 3 hours, had a box filled with CDs. And I started rifling through them, trying to find something that was like, ooh, I know this group. I know that. I found like 10 of them. And I said, how much are these? And he's like, $1 a piece. So I went, oh, okay, that's 11:30. He's been doing this for like 3 or 4 hours. How about I give you $50 for like all 250? Okay. I didn't even know what was in it. So we got home, we're flipping through it. I look at this, like, oh, damn it. This isn't a CD. And I open it up, and it is. It's from The Legend of Zelda. It's the music from the video game.
Yep.
Which, who knew there'd be music from the video game that people would want to watch?
I know. I saw a lot of them.
Well, not only that, there's a single edition, and this happened to be the 2 CD edition. So it cost probably $0.25. And it sold in a week for $50. So I underpriced it in the market. I thought, what do I want to do? For me, it was like, I just got a ton of CDs. I want to pay for all these CDs. So now these 200 CDs to me are free inventory. And I paid for this one. So something I look out for.
Hey, Craig, someone's in the chat says, yes, my son listens to this stuff. It drives me mad.
Oh, it's One Witch Lady. I love that name. I shortened it to Owl when I said hello to her. Again, out of my comfort zone. I'm not a sports guy. Surprise, surprise. Garage sale. Walk down. I think nothing. Didn't see a thing. Baby clothes. Baby clothes. Baby clothes. Baby items. Small children stuff. Oh, broken thing. I'm walking back, and at the cash desk there was this Green Masters hat, and I said, "Oh, is the cap for sale?" She goes, "Yeah, $1." So I bought it. Didn't even look it up. Didn't do anything like that for $1. And one of our sort of rules is, it's like I'll buy that for $1. It's like the old Flintstone sort of thing. It's like, whose baby is that? I'll buy that for. If it's under $5, we risk it. It's not the cost. It's the cost of a Dunkin' Donuts and a bagel. So if we did a bad thing, then we just don't have a bagel and Dunkin' Donuts the next day. But in this case, it was $1, and I decided to auction this one because I had no clue what to do with it. As you can see, it went up to $58 US plus $5 shipping. So it actually topped out a lot of other things that were on the other masters hats that were out there. We don't know why. Got positive feedback, so we're thrilled.
And then your duds. Oh no, you had this marketplace sale.
Oh, so yeah, that was something else we just tried. This is again from last week because I thought I'd do some stuff that was really current. Another garage sale. As I was leaving, they had it on Saturday and the Sunday. I went back on the Sunday, and somebody had donated the Fisher-Price Cradle and Swing. So I put it on a lot of, because it's huge. I put it on a lot of Facebook groups, Garage Sale, Kijiji, regular Facebook groups, soul group. And then when I was looking at it, there was this button that I could push that said, would you like to add this to Facebook Marketplace? And I was like, I don't know what Facebook Marketplace is. Okay, I pressed add. It didn't cost me anything. I got a response. That's actually where I sold it for free on Facebook Marketplace. My very first Facebook Marketplace listing, $5 buy, sold for $80. And in about a day and a half. So,
oh wait, let's do this other dud first. Then we'll get to that dud. Let's do the Disney Magic Bands first.
This I thought we were down at Disney, and I said we've gone 30 plus times. We love Disney. We're fanatics for Disney. I think my husband actually has a T-shirt that says "My favorite Disney princess is my husband."
Oh.
I have a Little Mermaid T-shirt that I wear all the time. So we were in the Disney outlets in Orlando, which is, you can usually find some stuff that's really amazing on sale. About 2 years ago, we got a bunch of Hocus Pocus limited edition t-shirts for like 99 cents. These were on sale for like $10, and they normally retailed for 20. But I looked at them and I thought, oh, it's Haunted Mansion. Huge group of people who love Haunted Mansion stuff. It's a limited edition Disney band. Great. I said, I want to buy 6 of them. I fought for a half an hour with the woman because she said, you're only allowed 3. And I went, but my family has 6 people. I came up with this gigantic story. If I go home with only 3, you don't know. Okay, fine. You can have all 6 for $9.99. I thought, yes, I've got like a 20. I'll invest $60 and I'm going to make $200. $150? Can I make $100? Somebody buy this. It's like, it was driving me crazy. I listed them at $17. They all ended up selling for 10 or less. So I lost money on something I thought was a guarantee.
You fought for it. You fought to lose money.
I fought to lose money on it. And we have one left. And that's the one that's left on there for $17. We got 2 for ourselves, actually. All right. And this is the done you would not think it's done.
This should be a score. You know this, right, Margaret?
No, scrubbing bubbles. It's.
You don't know this? You guys spend more time.
It's to clean my shower, right?
This is a hot commodity. Everyone, you sell these for over $100 all the time.
I mean, this is just one of those things that's in the shower that you like use it and you wipe the shower down when you're done.
Yeah,
right?
they don't make it no more. That's why people are paying $100 for them.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, so this, it's an electronic shower cleaner. So it hangs up on your shower head, and then you press a button, and it basically sprays scrubbing bubbles all around your shower. So I had seen, and my husband had seen, that it was a bolo. It was like, people were posting on the Thrifting Board, oh my God, I found this. I sold it for $150. I found one. I sold it for $125. I found one. I sold. So we were like, oh, we're never going to find one of those. And on the next trip we went down to the States, we were in a Value Village, and they had one. And I was like, oh my God, it's $25 Canadian. We drove to the States. We listed it on our phone thinking, while we're down there, it is such a hot commodity, it's going to sell.
Right.
No. $125, no sale. We were still underpriced by $40, $50 from some solds. Like, we checked the solds. And even to this day, you look in there, you can see them sold for $150 plus. We tried marketing it at $125. We tried $125 with a 40% off sale. We tried listing it at $75 on its own. We tried everything under the sun we possibly could do. We finally did end up selling it for $70 US. Then came the dud part. So you think, oh, great, $70 US, it's okay. Yeah. Well, we did free shipping. Okay, that's not a good thing. This is a 7-pound bugger. It had two small things beside it that were filled with the cleaning solution. So the shipping for us ended up costing us $25. So it's like, okay, now our $25 like buy is now, well, really it's now like a $45 buy. Oh, then we have to consider our fees. Oh yeah, that's true. So there's the eBay fees and then there's the PayPal fees. It's like, okay, let's take another 15% off. So now it's like this thing that was supposed to be a turnover of $100 in a day turned into like a 2.5 month. I made $7. But the capper of the entire thing, this is what's even worse. 37 days after it arrived, tracking information showed it arrived, the person who got it opened up a PayPal credit request saying it was an illegal charge on their credit card.
Oh my goodness.
So then I had to upload everything to show that like it was true and I did sell it and it was received like a month before. So I went through this whole thing where potentially they could have even taken the $70 back, which means this would have been me spending $50 to go, look, I used to own a thing and I gave it away. PayPal was very good. They did side with the person, like the credit card sided with the person that is a false charge, but PayPal said you are a good customer. And it's one of the good things I like about doing it is like when you've got the proof and you talk to them, 90% of the time it's going to work out in your favor. And I showed them, this is the buy. This is when it was sold. This is the UPS thing. If it was a false buy, why did it take someone like a month and a half to then claim that they didn't get it? It was delivered to their house. So I still got my $8 profit, but it's a dud from a bolo in a way. Jason wondered when I sent him the picture, goes, why is this a dud? It's like, oh.
But Margaret, you got to spend more time on the Thrifting Board. If you didn't know that bowl, that's been a hot bowl for quite a while now.
Oh, yeah.
I guess so. Oh my gosh, I got my finger in so many pies though.
But I know, and the chat's going, yeah, I sold 4 for $125 each. I sold 1 for $100. Yeah, it's a hot commodity. You got to.
I mean, I'm wondering if people saw that it was coming from Canada and were like, "Oh, I don't know, is it going to take longer to ship to me from Canada?"
Well, and that's actually one of the other things about why we started Craft too, because even when we start on there and we post, if we post to eBay US, it still says from Canada. So it still says an international seller. So we're trying to make sure people understand, like it's still, it doesn't necessarily take somebody longer. Like a lot of people I know use this UPS service. So I can still get something to someone in 3 days. Yeah. Just because it says from Canada. So that's one of the, but we thought about that too, as people looking at it going, and plus it had French on it. So, oh, maybe I don't want the French-Canadian version of the bubble. The bubbles, the scrubble. Like, I don't speak French. I apologize for that. It's not everybody who does up here. Sorry. My husband is French-Canadian, so I'm allowed to say that. All I know how to say is la plume de ma tante sur la table, which is my aunt's pen is on the table.
Je m'appelle Margaret.
Well, yeah, and the effect want that, but you know.
all I know to say is au revoir, and that's how we'll end the show. So I want to thank my co-host tonight, Margaret Collier, Texas Gal Treasures. Let everybody know your groups again, Margaret.
Yeah, I am the admin of International League of Thrifters, or one of, creator, whatever. And I also have a jewelry group called Jewelry Lovers and Sellers.
And Craft with Craig. So check out those groups, especially. Oh, now we're looking at a better mug here. What the hell? You show a good mug at the end?
Yeah, I kept my Al Evans Tiki Farm mug for the end.
Crazy Al. Crazy Al, I've been friends for a long time. All right, so that is our show tonight. Now, I don't have a guest yet next week, but I do have a co-host next week, Lindy Glenn. You know, Lindy, she has her own successful YouTube channel. She was a guest on Thrifty Business not too far ago. So we're going to be doing the show next week, and we'll be giving away another pass to the Ecom Chicago event. So make sure to stay tuned for the Thrifting Board for the next put your name here kind of thing. And those of you in the Secret Beach, Margaret and I just went to the bathroom, so we're good to go, and we'll let Craig go to the bathroom. But we're going to start the Secret Beach show in about 60 seconds. So leave this chat, hop over to that chat. If you haven't given us a thumbs up, please give us a thumbs up. If you did not like the show, give us thumbs down twice. That'll really tell. And we'll be back next week on Thrifty Business at 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 6 o'clock on the West Coast on Thursday. And a couple things coming up. I'll be doing a thrift haul the next few days with Nick Garces. You know Nick from both of us getting our ass kicked by Margaret in the Thrift Hall Throwdown. And Silverberg, one of the eBay Shine Award winners, one of my admins, and I will be hanging out with Lori Wong tomorrow on YouTube, talking about the eBay Shine Awards and how we as a community of thrifters and eBayers can help out those in need. And we'll be giving away some shit tomorrow. So tune into that tomorrow also. 1 o'clock on the West Coast. And that's it. Secret Beach, we're heading over your way. We'll see you there. Bye, all.
Well, thanks.